Hello everybody, it's Robbie here, and today I'm coming to you with a video. In fact, I'm really struggling with the title for this. It's basically how to fill gaps in your curriculum using Evan-Moor. When we first started homeschooling, I had invested in some of the core curriculum pieces, and then when I sat down to do the planning for that school year, I realized I had gaps in my curriculum, but I had no more budget. So one of the ways I was able to fill gaps in the curriculum reasonably, inexpensively, but thoroughly is through Evan-Moor. So I wanted to touch a little bit on that because if say you have younger kids and you've invested heavily in like a phonics program, and you've invested heavily in a math program, and maybe you've invested heavily in a science program, but you're like, shoot, now I still have reading and comprehension and spelling, and I still have geography and vocabulary and writing, and oh my, writing and geography and spelling, oh my, it gets overwhelming and it adds up really quickly if you're getting your resources from major curriculum providers. And if you look at a box curriculum, we're looking at $800 to $1,200 for a box curriculum. So if you have gaps, or if you're looking at curriculum options and you're getting overwhelmed with the prices, there may be a way to cut down on the cost by using Evan-Moor resources, because they're thorough and they're very cost effective. You actually can get a full year's worth of curriculum from Evan-Moor. They actually have curriculum packages. Just briefly, I'll show you under Homeschool Curriculum. You can see that they offer curriculum packages. It covers all the bases in a very cost-effective way. But if you're looking at other curriculum options and you just want to fill in the gaps, that's really what I want to focus on here. Art, let's just start there. Because art is one of those things that we love to try to incorporate into our homeschool, but it tends to go to the back burner for cost reasons, for, we want to make sure all of the core curriculum options are covered. So I wanted to show you some of the different art options that Evan-Moor has. And I want to link to a video I released not too long ago where I talk about the hidden gems that Evan-Moor offers. A lot of those were art and craft based books. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So I'm going to link that below because I go into way more detail on all the different options. But if you're looking for strictly just an art curriculum, my favorite is this one here called How to Teach Children Art, or How to Teach Art to Children. It's very reasonable. It's for grades 1 through 6. It goes into all of the different aspects of art, line and form and shape and color. It does it in a very thorough way, but also with a lot of really fun projects. And the materials list is essentially just things that you can find around your house if you have kids. Most people have a variety of basic watercolor paints and, construction paper and craft sticks and things like that. This is a really, really good one. If you have TeacherFileBox, you can just do a search for art. You can specify the grade levels that you're looking for, and then it will literally pull up all the different units that it can find throughout the library. So this is not limited by book. This is all based on units, so from all the various books that they have. So if you would prefer to just do a thematic approach and pick an art project that goes with what you're learning, you can do it through TeacherFileBox. And again, I've got several videos on TeacherFileBox. I can link the main one below that basically just goes into how it works and what it's about. But this is a subscription service. It's $99, let's say $100 a year. And this is per family. So if you have multiple kids, this will even save you more money because you can just pay the one subscription price and use all the units that you want for all of your kids. So that is one of the subjects that you can definitely take care of through Evan-Moor very reasonably. The book is only $19.99, and then of course TeacherFileBox, if you have the subscription, basically it's just the cost of paper and ink because you print off the units that you want. The next one I wanted to talk about is history. So Evan-Moor doesn't have a history curriculum, but you've probably heard of the history pockets. So they have history pockets, which if you do lap books or you're familiar with what lap books are, this is kind of similar, but it's you don't have to tear apart file folders and paste a bunch of stuff together. This is a little easier to prep, actually a lot easier to prep, but it's the same kind of interactive tool. And the history pockets are one of their most popular items. So if you plan to use, or if you're thinking about using history pockets, you could literally create an entire curriculum around these, because you've got everything from the main time periods of world history to all the main themes of American history. The explorers, life in Plymouth, moving west, the Native Americans. I think there's some on, Civil War, the American Revolution. So you can cover all the main points through this and then dive deeper as you learn the highlights and work with these interactive tools. So you could definitely build a history curriculum around these. And if you like history pockets, please just get the TeacherFileBox, because when you start adding up the cost of all the different history pockets, you might as well just go ahead and get the TeacherFileBox. It'll be a way better value. So let's talk about writing. So writing is one of those that I had a gap in, and I was a little panicky on what I was going to do. So along comes Evan-Moor, and I see they have so much writing. They have creative writing. They have the daily 6 trait writing. They have, I wrote them down. I was hoping to kind of show you. They have text-based writing. They have paragraph writing. They have creative writing ideas. They have everyday literacy. That's for the early grades, like pre-K through grade 1. They have nonfiction writing. They have writing poetry. And they have writing centers. So let me touch on centers real quick, because if you are wanting an interactive way to either teach a subject or to supplement a subject, or just have some more hands-on ideas for a subject, take a look at the centers. So we have the game series here, where we got math and phonics. We have another set of centers here with regard to more phonics. We have these early learning centers. There's geography centers. And these, I think, are broken up by grade. So you've got 1 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 4, and 4 and 5. Language centers. I mean, I could go on and on. This really has a lot. And if you buy the book and you set up an entire center on the one book, there's quite a bit of prep to it. So you could, if you wanted to, if you have TeacherFileBox, just do a search for centers. And of course you can refine that if you're looking for a specific subject, but I just wanted to show you how the different units will come up in TeacherFileBox for the different centers. So if you wanted to work on vocabulary, you pull up a vocabulary center. If you wanted to work on synonyms, you could pull up a synonym center. If you wanted to work on a fractions math center, something interactive, you could do that, and you wouldn't have to buy the whole book. So that's another reason why I just love having the TeacherFileBox, is because I get access to all the books. But if you get in and you find that you wish you had got the whole book because you'd use everything in it, and you click on a unit, and you can see at the bottom here, it shows you all the different units from that book. So you literally could just print out all the different units and then put it together like you would if you had the book. So that's another way to sort of supplement or come up with a great way to fill a gap in your curriculum. So back to writing. If you just put writing in here, I've got it filtered for grades 4 through 8, and you can filter that however you want. But it's pulling up all the different writing assignments for that grade, that age group, from all the different writing books, and it's extensive. There's a ton. So if you find yourself in a situation where you need writing, definitely check out Evan-Moor, because there's lots of options there. If you just want to focus on paragraph writing, they have an entire book on just how to write a paragraph. If you want to focus on creative writing or how to write a story, they have a book on just how to write a story. So if you want to focus on nonfiction, they have that too. So that one is very thoroughly covered. Let's say you want reading comprehension. Say you prefer living books and you want your kids to read novels at their level, and they're reading these books, but you don't have time to read those books to be able to ask them the appropriate comprehension questions to make sure that they're grasping it. You can always have them do a little book report. You can always have them just sort of give you a summary, an oral recitation on what it was that they read. But if you wanted to kind of target comprehension from, say, nonfiction or from a specific type of text, and just have them do some question answer type work with that, buying a reading curriculum with a basal reader is expensive. And I know, because I've done it. And I've used BJU, I've used Mazdas, I've even looked at Christian Light. And it can be a little overwhelming because the content is really rich and there's a lot of it, but it's very time consuming. And I find that I kind of put it on the back burner sometimes because of the time commitment it takes to do a lesson. As much as I love it and as rich as it is, it's not something I can do every day because I don't have time. So going here, I can go into TeacherFileBox. I can look up reading. I'm going to focus this on comprehension. And I've got a ton of selections here that I could choose from on reading comprehension. Going over to the Evan-Moor site, and I put in reading. You've got these language books for the early years. You've got authentic reading practice. They have some interactive games for the computer. And look, there's page after page after page. So in my notes, I've got that they have daily reading comprehension. That would be for grades 1 through 6, I believe. Let's double check that. Oh, through grade 8. I was wrong. So they actually have this through grade 8. They have reading comprehension fundamentals as well. That goes through grade 6. So here it talks about inferences, point of view, author's purpose, plot, predict, figurative language. So this goes through what you would actually get in a comprehensive reading or literature curriculum through BJU, Mazdas, whatever, but it's a lot less expensive. $23.99. And this comes in print or ebook. And again, you can access that here too, TeacherFileBox. All right, let's talk about spelling. So they have the Building Spelling Skills. This is a literal full spelling program. It's from a very traditional method of teaching spelling, the kind that we had in school. If you went to public school, even most private schools, I think you do this too. So you have spelling lists. This is for one of the younger grades. I didn't even look to see what it was. Let's see. Oh, this is first grade. Now I'm just curious what they do for first grade spelling. So I went through the list. So you have your spelling list. You have to trace the letters. You copy and spell, and then you cover and spell. And then you have the little visual memory page, a vocabulary page where you fill in the blank, use it in context. It's another word study, and then you got a new list. So as you go up in grade, it's going to have a similar feel, but of course it's going to be a lot more words, and of course there's more difficulty. But see, they do the same thing: copy and spell, cover and spell, then the vocab, the word study, then another exercise here, and then of course the 5th day, that was 4 pages, 4 days, and the 5th day you do the spelling test. So very traditional, but very good. I've heard really, really good things about their spelling. And then they also have Skill Sharpeners Spelling Right. So the Skill Sharpeners is a series they have. It's full color, very engaging, but it's meant to be like a unit study. So it's good for summer slide, it's good for unit study, and each one only lasts about, I think, 6 weeks. Let's take a look at grade 3. Okay, 12 weeks. So this has 12 weeks worth of spelling. It doesn't have as many words. Of course, this is grade 3. Let's look at grade 5 again, just for comparison. So there's 12 weeks worth of words. It's full color, but the word list isn't as big. So if you wanted to take a little more gentle approach to spelling, I suggest you go with these. And let's say you have a student that's kind of all over the place with spelling. You could put the grade range in here and then pick a unit based on the spelling words, regardless of what grade it is. Maybe you have a student that struggles with a certain letter combination in spelling, like IE, EI. Maybe they get those mixed up. You could literally find a unit that covers that word group and then do it regardless of what grade it was. Or let's say they have trouble with the double consonants, when to put good double consonants in. Then you could literally pick out units that focus in on that. So again, if you go in and you find out, you know what, this seems like a perfect level, I just want to do the whole book. Anytime you go in there, it'll tell you where it came from, and you could literally print out all the units that come from that book. So another one is vocabulary. You can certainly get vocabulary curricula, but that was another one that I didn't get. Felt like there was a gap. So Evan-Moor has a ton of options for vocabulary. The Brain Builders series, the Daily Academic Vocabulary. There's even a bundled package here. There's Vocabulary Centers and Vocabulary Fundamentals. I thought there was a vocabulary interactive game. Okay, there is. Brain Builders Vocabulary. And the last one I want to talk about is geography. So we have Beginning Geography, which is sort of a really good all-around geography book for grades K through 2. And then they have the Daily Geography, which has really quick, short lessons broken down in very small chunks. So Monday is just 2 questions. Tuesday is just 2 questions. There's a map that they study, and then they answer the questions. And we usually just did this in a day. As they get older, They still only have a few questions, but they get a little more difficult to answer, especially when you get to the challenge section. But we were still usually able to do this in a day. And it covers all the basics. It covers a lot of map skills. If you use this for your kids, they will know their map skills. They will be able to read a map. They will be able to read a grid map. They'll be able to know what answer or a key is in the compass rose and the longitude and latitudinal lines. They'll know all of that stuff. They'll know their continents. They'll know all of that. But let's say you wanted to do geography based on whatever you're studying in history. You could, again, use TeacherFileBox for that and just get the unit that you're looking for. See right here, you can see in the keywords, there's maps here. And you can see all of the different units on North America. And you can also filter. There's geography right there. Grades 4 through 6 geography. So you can use this over here to refine your filters. And you can either clear them or just X them out if you want to get rid of them. So that's another way you can do it. If you want to use the TeacherFileBox for that, you can do it by unit. So that's really it. Those are the main ones I wanted to cover. There may be others that I haven't thought of, but those were the ones that always come up for us when I'm considering curriculum. And because they have all of these topics, I can save a lot of money when I actually use Evan-Moor to fill in curricula gaps for my homeschool. So I hope you found this helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. I will be glad to answer what I can. I'll put some links in the description box based on the items that I talked about today. And if I have any videos that review books or like the TeacherFileBox, I'll put those in there too. So thank you so much for coming and visiting my channel today. I really hope you have a great rest of your day. I will be back with you soon.